Okay, we're gonna do. Well, guys, what do you think's next? What about LA Finals review? That's what we're doing. Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna get straight off the bat. I like finals number one way more than I liked finals last year, as far as city finals. And I like city finals are actually better than the qualifying this year, which is really interesting considering in my opinion, I thought it was a pretty train wreck of a city final last season with all these mid runs. And I mean, there was one or two mid runs per an episode, but definitely a lot more toned down. And it starts right now with LA, and I get it right off the bat. I'm not gonna be totally critical about Brian correction Flip Rodriguez mid run yet power tower yet finishes. For me personally, it's like I don't. I get it. They only have a certain amount of time to edit, so you can't be totally mad if you have one or two runs. I think, yeah. Even though the power tower, even though that's the case, obviously I would have liked that to change. To me, I'm always thinking like I'd rather sacrifice some runs that fall in the ninth obstacle, because everybody they showed make it to the ninth obstacle got a full run. So I'm sorry, people like Verdell Benson and Verdell Benson. I'm sorry, you could be shown mid run and at least give one of them a full run. I was gonna say Brian Burke, but I was like, I'm not gonna do you like that. I'm not gonna do Brian Burke like that and be like later on. And as far as Daniel Leva, I was like, he's a gymnast. He probably would be really cool to have a full run of him because we didn't get it in the qualifying episode. So yeah, I was like, you could have, not shown him because he's like, well, what did he really add besides his profile piece? But AWs tend to do this thing where it's like you could still have the profile piece and be shown mid run. But that's just me. That's why it's probably my least favorite of the finals episodes, but still really good because of how much I like the finals episodes overall. As far as the city finals course goes, again, I've always been something where I don't care if you nerf the qualifying obstacles, in the sense that the finals aren't really about the qualifying course or obstacles. And now you might be wondering, so why do you care if they don't, if Flip Rodriguez or Brian Crutch's run, they don't show them on the front half? Why do I really care that they don't got a full run? Well, it's because predictability. Let me tell you that. When I saw Flip and Brian Crutch's mid run, I'm like, why would he be mid run? And you get that a lot with the season. And again, that's the main thing with last year when you get big names on the mid run. Well, it's like it defeats the purpose because you see them on these fifth obstacle, and it's like, are they really gonna fall on the salmon ladder, on the wall, and even the fifth obstacle itself? So it's like it takes away the suspense when you see Flip Rodriguez right about to start the spin hopper. It's like, is he really gonna fall on the spin hopper? Is he? Why would you show his mid run if he's gonna fall in that obstacle? So it's like, why? That's why it's like, at a minimum with mid runs, you almost kind of assume that they're gonna make it to the ninth or a finish obstacle or finish. In that case, honestly, in a season where it's like where there's not that many mid runs, honestly, I'd say that if there's a mid run, I always just assume that they're a finisher, and that actually will be my opinion late in the season. As far as late in this finals, I'll get that as in all my other finals, because it's gonna be interesting reviewing all these and knowing what happens in all these other regions. It's like, just don't want to give it away in this my opinion on these things in this video, because I have a lot to talk about. These reviews will get long. Like, there are some episodes where I have a lot to talk about, because some of this stuff, there's game changer stuff. So what I think about, let's start off. What do you think about the course? Originally, when I figured out that they were bringing back the hinge, I was like, what? That's probably my least favorite new obstacle in the city finals. It's not the, the probably was me. Not probably. It was because nobody really fell on it. But then I realized to have respect for it in this episode, knowing it's like, what ended up being more difficult than it was last year. I don't know if they changed anything. I don't know if they made it farther. It wasn't just the difficult. It was seeing a different feel to get on, and in knowing that it was meant to be a pathway, almost to say, to the ninth obstacle. In a way where it's like I can respect 8th obstacles that aren't that difficult. Because think about it. What are your really options? Because they are, besides, the obstacles they already had. Especially when they wanted to do leaps of faith. And they obviously knew that they wanted the leaps of faith to be that difficult ninja killer. So they were like, okay, well, what are my options? Because obviously, besides the fact that, okay, we have, crazy clocks in Oklahoma. And we have floating monkey bars in Seattle. What's our options here? And we're like, Captain's Wheel, the Hinge, and nail clippers, the nail clipper, and the clap. And it's like out of those 4 options, Captain's Wheel, I'm not a big fan of. And I get it. Like, nobody wants to. The nail clipper is way too difficult to have a difficult obstacle like leaps of faith. And, clacker is like, it's going to take out no one. So you want like 20 people to the 8th, 9th obstacle? No. So it was like, the hinge was that perfect mix where you're going to get a bunch of ninjas facing the hinge. Or not facing the hinge. Bunch of ninjas facing leaps of faith while still taking out more ninjas than because I knew that nail clippers and Captain's Wheel were like out of the question, so it was really between Hinge and Clacker, and it's like the Clacker obviously knew, well, if our prediction, we obviously knew that instead of getting like 10 or 12 ninjas, just enough to move on, we're gonna get like 20 ninjas to the 9th obstacle, which is gonna be way too much. So let's talk about it. And the common theme I've noticed for the finals is blind grabs. And this is the introduction, the end of Leaps of Faith, which is the most difficult parts of Leaps of Faith. And this Leaps of Faith is gonna give me a little bit of a, not rant, but a little bit discussion later on in my reviews. And if you guys know what episode that probably will be that has a blind grab, that oof. And it's like, I got a few more episodes to review before I get to that. But as far as the episode I'm talking about, which is LA Finals, it was obviously ended up being the most difficult part of Leaps of Faith, which I'm totally fine about because it's not impossible. Wink, wink. And out of the 12 ninjas who made it, it took out 10, which is a good amount. I'm fine with that, I'm fine with that. So as far as the runs, I got my favorite run. So let's talk about the standout run. Brian Burks I really enjoyed his. He started off the episode, which is fine. He's okay to start off the episode, why did I choose him as the standout run? The Hinge. I'm just talking about that. I'm just talking about the Hinge. And his save on the Hinge was one of those weird things where it's like, it was one of those things because like he was like, it was like something sticky dripping down. It's like, I guess like I don't like syrup, but like when you see it like drip out of the bottle, it's like slowly but surely like slipping out as slow as possible. It's like, picture that, but like you had to get onto the plate. and it's like you just see it slipping before it's on the area it should be, and it's like one of those things where it's like it was so just like as you see it happening, it's like no, like the longest no, because like it's so slow. Like it wasn't like all in one move where he like slips and then makes it quickly. It was like literally he was slipping down. It's like the whole time you're like no, and then he uses pretty much his gymnastic skills to pull him back up. And so it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's like probably the biggest hurrah, is the biggest victory in the episode. Out of many. The next would probably be Flip's run. But again, it's a mid run, so I can't say. Like, if he had a full run, it would probably be my favorite run of the episode. But he didn't really. So, and then, of course, Hunter Gerard was probably the most run of the night. Probably because of his head bump. Which is another story of the finals, is all of the injuries. Not just head. Just, like, all these people getting, like, pretty much just the head. You know, when you think of Hunter Gerard, Dan Yeager, you know, I'm forgetting others on the top of my head who bumped their head. Oh yeah, and of course other ninjas. So yeah, those are like the people you come to mind. And is there any least favorite run? There's no least favorite runs. Like I don't do that. Like least favorite run. Yeah, I maybe like when I mean least favorite runs, I'm probably just meaning in the sense. I mean like in the sense like I wish you would do better. No, I feel like there's a few fast forwards that I would have liked to see in. But there's one more thing I want to talk about: the City Finals Power Tower. What do I think about it? I feel like I don't like it as much. I don't even know if it's harder. To be honest, I don't even think it's harder. And what I like about the Power Tower in the qualifying that was heavily missed was its overall sense, where it's like if you have the upper body, you can do the final portion, but you need the lower body for the pole, walking across the pole, but you need parkour for the steps. You need the strength to do the laches and all this stuff. But with this one, it only really in the City Finals Power Tower. And remember, this one's different because it starts at the bottom instead of the rope climb down. And it just missed. It missed the overall abilities. This one was like, oh, what if we only made it upper body? It would be harder, but in theory, it would be harder if it was only upper body, but it really wasn't. So stay tuned for more videos coming right at you.